Object selection methods. In this tutorial, you will learn concept of a selection set, object selection methods and shortcuts, methods to edit a selection set. In AutoCAD, there are number of editing commands which are used to modify objects. And whenever you give an editing command, you will get select object prompt. For example, when I give move command, I'll click on move. I've got the select object prompt. And when I give copy command, you will get the same prompt. What is meant by this prompt? Whenever you get this prompt, you are supposed to select the objects to be edited using the best suitable selection methods. In this context, a systematic knowledge of various methods of object selection is highly essential in AutoCAD. In this video, we will explore these methods in detail. To try various methods of object selection in AutoCAD, we have to start with an editing command. I'll click on the move command and I've got the select object prompt. I'll zoom into this area. I just want to copy this chair. So I'll make a click to select it. I've got the message 1 found. One more click, you have got a message 1 found and 2 total. One more click, 1 found and 3 total. Likewise, more and more objects will get added to the selection set. So what is meant by selection set? A selection set is defined as a collection of objects prepared by the user to perform an editing command. So picking individual objects can be treated as a selection method. This selection method often becomes inconvenient, especially if you want to select more than one objects at a time. This is where you have to use collective selection methods. I just want to move this wardrobe from this position to a different position. So I'll click on move command. If I make a selection using picking method, then I have to make several picks. So what I'll do is I'll take the cursor over here, left click and drag it rightward. You can see that it becomes a blue rectangle. And I'll pick the opposite corner point over here. This rectangle is called a standard window, which will select all the objects which are fully within the window. So if you want to get a standard window, you have to make a click on a particular location where there is absolutely no objects and drag the mouse rightward. The direction of drag is important in this case. But if you drag the mouse leftward, you will get a different type of window. Let's see that window. So I'll give move command again, make a click. This time I'll drag the mouse leftward and I'll pick the opposite corner here. This is a green dotted rectangle. When you pick the opposite corner point over here, you can see that the software selects the objects which are fully enclosed as well as crossed by this window. And that's a property of a crossing window. Here the direction of drag should be leftward. A standard window can also be obtained by typing the letter W at the select object prompt. In that case, even if you drag leftward, you will get a standard window. So the direction of drag is not important if you type W. Similarly, at the select object prompt, if you type C for the crossing window, even if you drag rightward, you will get a crossing window. Remember, W for standard window and C for crossing window. Instead of rectangular window, you can also make use of irregular polygons to perform selection. We have two types of irregular polygons that can be used to perform selections. One is called window polygon or WP. Another one is called crossing polygon or CP. So I'll give move command again. At the select object prompt, I'll type WP. So it will ask you to define the corners of a polygon. I'll pick to define the corners. Now you can see that it has selected all these objects which are fully enclosed by the window or within the window. And that's a property of a standard window. Functionally, it will behave like a standard window. But in appearance, a window polygon is an irregular polygon instead of a rectangle. Similarly, you can try crossing polygon. So I'll give move command again and I'll type CP for crossing polygon. You can click to define the corners and you can see that this irregular polygon appears in green color. I'll give an enter and you can see that this irregular polygon has selected those objects which are fully enclosed as well as crossed by it. Next method of object selection is called the fence selection. You can access the fence by typing F at the select object prompt. I'll explain it with an example. I would like to move all these chairs from the table. So if I select the entire dining table set using a standard window like this, the table will also get selected. But I don't want to select the table. So I'll go to move command and I'll type the letter F for fence option. I'll pick a point like this and I'll pick one more point. I'll get dotted lines connecting all these points and these lines are called fence lines. And the software selects all those objects which are touched by these fence lines. Now I'll select the base point here and the second point here. Hence, fence option selects all those objects which are touched by these fence lines. Next, I'll talk about lasso selection. In AutoCAD, when the cursor is directly over an object and when you left click, that particular object will get selected. But when the cursor is not directly over an object, when you left click and drag the mouse, you will be able to perform freehand selection. Such a selection is called lasso selection. Whatever is captured within the lasso selection will get selected, and this is a window lasso selection. Similarly, you can drag the mouse leftward and you can perform a crossing lasso selection. It will have the same property as that of a crossing window. By default, when you left click and drag, you will be able to perform a lasso selection. But if you want rectangular selection instead of lasso selection, you need to change the value of a variable. This variable is called pick auto. So I'll type pick auto. This variable by default is given the value 5. I'll set its value to 1. Now when the cursor is not directly over an object and when you click and drag, you will get a standard window. When you drag it rightward and when you drag leftward, it will be a crossing window. Next we will see the method to select all the objects on the screen. This is a ground floor plan. Suppose if I want to make a first floor, all I have to do is copy the entire ground floor and perform some editing operations to make the first floor. Click on copy command in the modify panel. When I'm asked to select objects, I'll type ALL, all. When you type all the objects on the screen will get